Agentic workflow and AI agents. Justin, I want us to make a quick video on this because people need to understand this is the next big thing. When people have an experience of this working, they describe it as profound as their first experience of working with ChatGPT.
Right. And there seems to be a lot of terms out there that are getting thrown around. Of course, you have language models. By now, most anybody who uses these tools are going to understand what a language model is, such as ChatGPT, Copilot, or Gemini. But then, of course, you have AI agents, which again, 2025 is the year of the agent. And then you have agentic AI, which is another term that is starting to come up. But I do see a lot of people getting AI agents and agentic AI kind of mixed up. You kind of look at it like hierarchies. And of course, you have large language models that we're familiar with, and these are foundational models that have been trained on data to understand text, context, for creating or generating human like language. And so they serve as the building blocks for the more complex AI systems. And so we know as an end user, how you interact with that is you may provide a prompt or direct interaction through applications such as ChatGPT, where you ask it to generate language or something such as write a poem about the ocean or something more advanced, and then you receive an output which is a poem about the ocean, and depend on how detailed you get from that. And then you progress on to the AI agents, which are entities, you could say, that autonomously perform tasks, interact with users, and make decisions based on their programming and data inputs. And so, in a way, they operate independently while executing specific tasks. So, the end user would interact with something such as a virtual assistant to set a reminder. Remind me to call my mother at 3 p.m. What that the AI agent does is it processes a request, checks the time, and schedules the reminder. When the time comes about, it sends the reminder out. And so it confirms it and notifies the end user.
I want to add a little piece to that. Add to that, for example, you might say, schedule a time later this week for me to call my mother that's outside the work hours. Yeah. And
Right,
then it would go out and look for an open spot to drop that in and execute it.
right. And so that's where you're getting into really basic AI agents. Now, when you get into agentic AI, you really get into systems now. And you see some of these on YouTube where super users or users who are really familiar with these systems, they will use various agents and language models. The agents may pull from the language models or from a certain source, and you may have something where you almost have a agentic team where you have an agent focused on marketing, communication, things such as that, and they work together. And so they really exhibit, you could say, a goal directed behavior where they autonomously plan and execute actions, much like the agents standalone, and then they kind of adapt to specific functions or objectives. And so you're really seeing a higher level of autonomy and decision making than the single agents. And so the end user really benefits from this advanced application, and you're seeing this in things like autonomous vehicles, AI driven financial systems, or really sophisticated robotics. And you kind of think of what you see coming out of Amazon's warehouses, where you have this really nice, and if you're into efficiency like I am, this really pleasantly automated system where you don't see a lot of backup or bumping into each other, and it's very streamlined, and so you're able to create a very functional and efficient system. And so this may look like an end user enters a destination into an autonomous vehicle like what Tesla's trying to do, and then the agentic AI, it plans the best route, it checks and considers traffic, road conditions, and safety, and then it takes the user to the destination. And so it's making real-time adjustments and it's making real-time plans using external data to accomplish a goal. It may be using, say, an agent to determine traffic schedules, one that could be a variation of, say, Apple Maps or Google Maps. And then, of course, it's got to know the location. It also has to know, spatial awareness and has to be aware of the laws, the rules, and how to react in real life with what's around it as well. And so you're really getting into much more complex systems there.
And that's why I wanted to mention, and one of my jokes, Justin, is make sure these AI agents are created with adult supervision, because now you're going out into the world, it's automatically doing something. So that's why companies need to, one, they need to make sure they have a system already that something can analyze and follow, because some don't. It's like Betty knows how to do it, we just let her go. Yeah, but what does Betty do?
Right.
And at the small business user level, we'll be updating you as we test these out and find ones that we believe are safe, but also giving you wisdom and input in our training on how to use them properly.
That's right. And which, speaking of that, with a role that we are working in the work that we do, which is an AI workforce strategist. AI strategists are typically known as, more on the technical side of implementing and designing AI strategies. And with you and I, with the workforce side of it, we really, with these agents and agentic systems, you're really seeing a need for someone who understands the workforce, understands workflows, and especially for small business, how you can adopt these tools into your current operations and make you much more efficient and save you time.
Absolutely. Let us hear your views. There'll be other resources below, and make sure to click subscribe and the bell. And we're available for both consulting and training on these topics to empower small business and professionals and organizations, because they need to have proper policies on this to be effective and safe. Thanks, Justin. This is another great show.
Thank you, Martin.